Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the evening session, day 14 of 28 Days to a New Consciousness. And we begin right now. Hosted here live on the Awaken the World page. And of course, my name is Garen, for now. So, Kelly may not be able to do too much commenting. The cat has her hostage. I watched the cat jump up on her lap. And I don't have access to the comments. So I do see that Devora popped on and Kim popped on. So hello to both of you. I do get little bubbles as long as they don't scroll away. So a very happy Valentine's Day to you. Not only today, but every day. You know, commercialism aside, and I see Jennifer is here too. Hello, Jennifer. And in case you missed it, a very happy Valentine's Day to you too. To every single one of you. You know, Kelly and I honestly love you. We really do. Why? Because we see you as part of ourselves, and ourselves as part of you. We know there's no separation. Well, Kelly's working on the knowing part. She's almost there. The point is it's so much easier to love and care for each other than it is to do anything else. I mean, it really is. You know, all of those things aside, let's just look at sheer laziness. Do you know how much, and I speak from experience, do you know how much effort it takes to get into a fight with someone? To run a war? To be at war? Man, loving your neighbor and being willing to sit down and work things out and enjoy food together and meditation together and drink together. And I'm not talking about alcohol. I'm talking about, share a nice glass of lemonade on the back porch or a glass of fresh water together. These are the gifts, and they're really simple, and they don't take a lot of effort. It's beautiful. So where were we at? Okay, so this morning we went over self-love, and we talked about what self-love really is, and that in order to love anyone else, you really do have to love yourself. And when you love yourself so fully and so completely that you're not willing to have a thought in your head that doesn't resonate with truth in your being, you'll be there. And it's okay in the meantime if there's still parts of yourself that you'd rather cut off. You will have to integrate and love those parts of yourself too. This evening, we're going to talk about loving others and what loving others means. Because there's a lot of confusion around this, and I am responsible for a little bit of suffering that Kelly had to go through over this. The first Christmas that she was apart from her family and they weren't communicating with her, she wanted to send them cards and gifts. And I asked her why. And that question really took her back for a moment. And she came up with lots of reasons, but none of those reasons were really striking me as reasons that she honestly believed to be true. So as we dug deeper together, we came to the realization that she had wanted to give them gifts and wanted to give them cards expressing her love for them. Not for that reason, but as a vehicle to get something in return. And that return was for them to contact her and tell her that they loved her too. Now, we have to ask ourselves, and Kelly and I went over this, is that really loving your children? Now, yes, you have a desire that they communicate with you. I understand that totally. But here's the thing about truly loving someone. The only true love we have out there is the love of our Creator. The love that Christ demonstrated, not fully. He didn't have a lot of love for the money changers, I tell you, in the temple. That sort of blew his top. But that divine love is the love that we can be, and it's not as hard as you think it is. What true love really is allowing another to be whatever it is they choose to be, with a smile, a knowing grin, and without judgment. Now, that's not always easy, and I'm not saying I do it all the times either. I tell you, when I had someone actively trying to take my life, I wasn't really thinking about how much I love them. And I only pray that I have come to a point in my life now where I have separated the need for survival over the need and desire to be able to look someone in the eye, even as they are taking my life, and say, I love you. It's okay. Don't blame yourself, but take responsibility. You know, when we give this sort of love to everyone around us and let them know that we're there should they fall down, we open the door to people's energy to flow on their own behalf, for them to love themselves more. And we all know what I'm talking about. We all know, because we've all been there. There's always been a time where if it wasn't for the expression of love from another to us, we wouldn't have restarted our own love for ourselves. Perhaps we had fallen into a deep, dark place. God knows I've been there a few times. And in those places, I couldn't love me. I didn't know enough to love myself yet. But you know what? There was the love given to me. There was an expression of that love. And that expression of that love reignited the flame of loving myself. So I'm sure you can understand this, because I'm pretty sure we've all had at least one experience where that's happened. When we love others fully and openly, we do not demand anything from them. Why? Because we are whole in ourselves, and if we are not whole in ourselves, then we are not truly loving another. Now, this is not a judgment, and it is not a bad thing. It simply is something to be aware of, and to be constantly on the lookout for where our definition of love turns in directions that we see around us all the time that we're trying to avoid. And it happens from time to time. It happens with Kelly and myself. You know, as I said, I've still got a long way to go. Anyone who's still on this planet and is not a glowing ball of light still has a long way to go. That's just it. And that's okay. It's part of the journey. You know, when we love ourselves fully, that love magnifies as it spreads out around us. And then we can love others fully. And through that, teach them how to love themselves fully. This happens by not blaming people, but by holding them accountable to themselves. Accountable, responsible. You know, compassion is another word that we wrap up with love a lot of times. And I would ask you to look carefully at compassion and what you think compassion is, and make sure that the compassion that you are giving is not in some way enabling someone's suffering to continue. And again, it's not about judgment. It's about observing dispassionately and objectively, looking deeper, and then choosing the path you wish to go down. And being okay if it turns out to be the wrong path. As I said, you can't fail and you can't mess it up. So through loving ourselves, we are offered the opportunity to love others openly, honestly, in the same love that our Creator would give us. And you look at the myriad number of mistakes we've made, you know, the number of people whose lives I've ended. the number of people who I've hurt. And still, when I died, I did not meet a God that would judge me. I met a divine presence that had forgotten all about that even before it happened. And there was nothing but love. You have it within you for yourself, and you have it within you for others. Remember, first and foremost, to always have that love for yourself, to be self-centered in that love for yourself. And then you become that shining light. Namaste to you all tonight. We look so forward to a meditation tomorrow evening on the Awaken the World page. And we'll do that so we can invite additional people to come if they wish. And of course, a great weekend lineup coming up as well. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow morning for day 15 of 28 Days to a New Consciousness. Much love and good night.